those who live it. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. I have two very special guests with me today. One in the studio, Mark Conzemius. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Renee. Great to be here.
It's always good to have you here, especially at this time of the year with Christmas at the Cathedral coming up. I also have with me on Zoom Carlos Santiago. Welcome, Carlos.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Carlos is, okay, so of course, we're getting close to Christmas at the Cathedral, where as this will air in about a week and a half from when we're recording. And so we're about, 2 or 3 weeks away? Probably 3 weeks from the beginning of, from Thanksgiving weekend is when we'll air it. So about 3 weeks from showtime, right? This is the 29th Christmas at the Cathedral. And Carlos is one of the soloists, along with, I have to find her name, Sarah Bailey. Mm-hmm. Yep. So those two will be the soloists. Mark, of course, creates the theme. You write the whole thing, don't you?
Well, there's a team.
There's a team. Okay.
Creative team.
I can't give you all of it.
No, please don't. And it starts with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
We are in the faith business.
Yeah.
I'm an example of the fact that you don't need to have talent to find yourself in the middle of. But in this case, just surrounded by really extremely talented people.
Yeah.
And I was very blessed, Renee. 29 years ago, Bishop Carlson was our bishop at the time, and he said, Mark, you spent 13 years with this group called Up With People that has a production,
that's right.
And I know how music can bring people together. Let's do something in our cathedral that would bring the community together. And Christmas seemed to be the right time to do it, and that was the first Christmas at the Cathedral, and we had no idea. Back then, it would still be running.
Yeah, and how big it would be.
Yeah, and then what we discovered is that the Christmas story, God's incarnation into the human race, has so many different views and angles and perspectives. And then just think of each of us, every one of those years that we have been able to celebrate Christmas, it's had a different experience in our lives. So we get to examine it, if you will, take a look at it from these different views, and you never get tired of talking about God's love.
Yeah, this is the fascinating thing for me is every year Mark comes up with a different angle, as you said. Last year was from Simeon and Anna. Is it Anna?
Anna.
Anna, thank you. This year, what's the angle? The angle. How are we looking at the incarnation this year?
Well, Simeon and Anna was sort of pre-birth.
Yes.
Post-birth, because then the presentation in the temple, that's when they get to hold the baby Jesus, the Messiah. We're going to look at it from if you will, the birth of Jesus, which is from the perspective of Zechariah. Here's the high priest, who is chosen by Lot, the Holy Spirit working through that, and gets to go into the temple. And this is a man who is taking some real heaviness with him. Yeah. Because like any of us, at any given time in our lives, in this case, he's getting old, his wife's old, and they're barren. They have no children. And in that time, a couple thousand years ago, not only was that just sad to think that we don't have the blessing of having children, but people look upon you like something's wrong with you. God, you do not have God's favor.
Right. You're cursed.
You're cursed, yeah. So you feel shame, you feel abandoned, and he takes that heaviness with him into the temple. And so I'm painting the scene for you.
Yeah.
If you can imagine, Father Morgan's helping us with this, but we use incense in the church.
Yes.
Well, that's not something we just discovered in Christianity. It comes from our Jewish roots.
Yes.
And it's our prayers going up to heaven, as the smoke goes up. And when we dedicated the altar at the cathedral in the restoration of this huge bowl full of incense, we can imagine, and the smoke rising up, well, we're going to use that same bowl. So here's Zechariah in his despair as he was chosen to be able to pray on behalf of the people, but he brought his own prayer and said, God, why have you abandoned Elizabeth and me in our old years? And in the midst of all that, we're going to introduce our brand new organ.
Oh, yes.
Which it can be very subtle and soft, but this brand new organ has 4,000 pipes. And when you put it on full, it's amazing how it can rumble. And it's going to be a 3D immersion, all your senses. It's like going to a theater where your seat will rumble and shake all that. And the angel Gabriel appears to him and, of course, tells him this amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same angel. You know, you think about it. Oh, it wasn't just any angel. Gabriel's the same one who appeared to Mary.
Mm-hmm.
He's the same angel that appeared to Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
So Zechariah is not just some side character. He's really in the middle of all this. He's not in our nativity scenes, but he really plays an important role in God's incarnation. And guess what? His son is the cousin to Jesus. So it's this really cool thing. And we hope every year people walk out, first and foremost, just knowing how much God loves them.
Yeah.
Knowing no matter what's going on in their lives, we have hope.
Right.
Never lose hope.
Right.
Right. That God brought his son light into the darkness, and the darkness will no longer ever overtake it.
Right.
And that's what we hope people leave with, but also with, wow, I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
And so the next time they hear the story of Zechariah, they'll listen to it a little bit differently, experience it a little bit differently, I hope.
For sure. Okay, so I don't want you to spoil anything, but do you introduce the visitation into that too, or is it? Oh, you do.
Yeah, yeah. So
see, I just wrecked it.
You can't do the you can't do the story of Zechariah without it's not something he journeyed with by himself. His wife Elizabeth was every bit a part of it.
Right.
And Elizabeth, of course, gets to bring this news to Joseph, who's now mute, because unlike Mary, who said, "Who am I to be the mother of God? But let it be done unto me according to your word." Mm-hmm. Zechariah was, wait a minute, we're old. That can't happen, So he didn't really believe and surrender and say, "Okay, bring it on, Lord." He questioned it, and so he actually became mute at that point.
Right.
And so you'll see how he's mute through this story during that period of time, and Elizabeth gets to tell him, "I'm pregnant." They get to enjoy that moment. And interspersed in these moments, I just got to say, is Carlos and Sarah and this beautiful music that puts an exclamation point on every one of these moments I've just described.
Yeah.
And you get to pray with it and let it sink in the way only music can do. Mm-hmm. And then to do it in that beautiful cathedral, which you get to look at the architecture and the art. And you have 32 professional orchestral musicians and 60 choir members, audition only. I mean, these guys are really talented. Yep. And so it moves you in ways and communicates in ways that I just don't know that. I think you could take the same production any other place, and it just wouldn't have the same impact as having it there
like
in that beautiful sacred space with that great message and beautiful musicians.
Yeah, it would be very different at the Washington Pavilion, for instance.
Yeah, and
very different.
That's a great place. It's got good acoustics, but it's pretty sterile when it comes, right? I mean, it's a performance hall.
Right.
This is a place of worship dedicated to Joseph. We know very little about Joseph, but we do know he played a really important role in salvation history.
Yeah.
And you get to look at that nativity scene with Joseph in it. This whole time, Carlos is singing these beautiful words. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we bring special lighting in to help sort of emphasize these different aspects of the architecture that tie to the message.
Carlos, I'm going to read a little short bio about Carlos, and then I want to hear from you about, first of all, how you became a singer and some of those things, and why, because this is not your first time in South Dakota, in Sioux Falls, to do this, and I want to know why you came back. But so you are originally from, I'm not going to be able to say this name. You're from Puerto Rico.
I am, yeah.
Okay. Vocalist, educator, and session singer whose artistry blends classical training with contemporary styles. You earned a Bachelor of Music in Vocal Performance from Southeastern University and currently serve as an adjunct commercial voice instructor at Lipscomb University in Nashville. Okay, so, and the most important thing that Mark pointed out to me is you were recently on the show The Voice. He had to point that out.
Yeah, but
that's right.
So how did you become a singer? How did you get on The Voice, and what happened there? And then we'll talk about the Christmas at the Cathedral.
Sure. So I grew up with two parents that are unbelievable singers, and so I had no choice. And they still serve in their local church, and they sing almost every weekend. And but growing up, I traveled with them, and I sang at different places. And I love to sing. And then my family and I moved to Jacksonville, Florida in 2002. My dad got transferred. He worked for Johnson and Johnson for about 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so during that time, I went to high school and I had told my father I want to be a mechanical engineer, and that was my dream. And he was a software engineer, and so he really was very happy because, oh wow, my son wants to be a mechanical engineer. I told him, I said, Dad, I want to go to MIT.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build the first car that works on tap water. That's what
Oh,
I told
wow.
him when I was 6. And then we had a neighbor that invited us to a concert of an artist named Steve Green, and he was in our neighborhood singing at a church down the street. And so we went, and I had grown up listening to him quite a bit, and I remember hearing him sing, and he was very different than a lot of other um, Christian artists, in that he really just shared the gospel. It wasn't very performance driven. He took some time to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and he was also one of the best tenors I'd ever heard.
Wow.
And so it was so impactful to my life that I remember sitting in the back of that church because it was packed, and genuinely feeling the drawing of the Holy Spirit to say, this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And so I sheepishly approached my father and I said, Dad, I need to talk to you. And he said, what's up? He's like, I think I want to be a music minister. And by that, I meant it in that sense, not in the sense of serving in the local church.
Mm-hmm.
I meant I want to travel and sing and share the gospel. And he said, "Are you sure?" He said, "You could be a mediocre programmer and make a full-time salary."
Right.
and um, and then he said, "Okay, well, if you're gonna do it, then you gotta aim to be the best, because otherwise you'll starve, and I
Right.
don't want to see you struggle." So he paid for every guitar lesson, every voice lesson. He was at every performance, and funny enough, after many years from that, I was 14 when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fast forward. I moved to Nashville in 2019, and in 2023, um, he had the custom of sending me and forwarding me all the open casting calls from The Voice via email. And I always ignored them because I auditioned in season 3 and I didn't make it through. And I just said, you know what, this isn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so then in the same way that I sheepishly approached my father, many years later, I'd say probably 21 years later, he approaches me and he says, "Son, I have to talk to you." And he said, "I have to apologize." And the call came out of the blue, and so I was really worried. Why is he apologizing to me? And he says, "I pretended to be you, and I created an audition profile." And I submitted some of your YouTube videos as an audition, and you got a call back for the
Oh
show.
my gosh.
He's like, so now his name is Carlos as well. We have a different middle name. And so it wasn't that far of a stretch. So that was the beginning of that. And so then he left it up to me. And so this was what really shook me.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt 14 again, is that he said to me, "I'm sorry I did that. I just believe in you so much. And I believe in the calling that God has placed in your life."
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing that shook me is that in a world that is so fatherless, and that even with fathers, there are many children who are spending their entire lives waiting to hear those words.
Mm-hmm.
Here was my father pouring his heart out
Mm-hmm.
and giving that to me willingly and freely. And so that anchored in my heart, and I just followed through with it.
Mm-hmm.
And had a great time in the show for my duration there, and met a lot of great people,
Mm-hmm.
some of them that I still stay in touch with almost on a weekly basis. And and yeah, and it was a bit of a wild ride, because I got married, and then 3 weeks later I flew out to Los Angeles to film. But
Jeez.
my wife was very kind to me and supportive, and now I'm home, and we have a beautiful 4.5-month-old baby girl named Clara, and that's the best. And I sing to her too, so
Oh,
she's
nice.
my favorite audience.
Who can say no to a dad when he
I
does
know.
something like that, right? I
Beautiful.
mean,
I couldn't,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think you could. Okay, Carlos, why did you take, so you've been one of the soloists for Christmas at the Cathedral how many times already? Once before?
This would be my third time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Why do you
Yeah.
keep coming back?
Well, they told me about the organ,
Oh.
so this time no.
It's all about the organ.
I'm coming back for the organ. No, honestly, when Mark reached out the first year, I've traveled a lot. I've had the blessing of meeting a lot of people, but we had this conversation where we were just kind of trying to feel each other out
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, in a sense. It's like, hey, this is here's our mission, here's what we've been doing, here's what we hope to do. Does that resonate with your heart? And then me trying to kind of feel out what that would be like, especially at such a long distance.
Right.
And because you never know, you never really know. And it just became evident really quickly, um, um, that this would just be a great thing to not just do, because I'm not doing it. I get to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also helped that I've had so many friends that have been a part of it so much, that every time they reached out and they said, hey, I hear that you're in talks to maybe be at the Cathedral. These people are the best. And knowing the heart behind my friends, that they don't use those words lightly. And so there was a long line of a testimony that just kind of was already preceding our conversations. And so the soil was already tilled.
Yeah. Yep.
The seed,
Seed was planted.
took place. Yeah, it was planted, and it's by the grace of God, it's brought forth fruit. And so anytime that he reaches out, it's always an easy yes,
Yeah.
because it's family at this point.
Yeah.
um, I I get to sing. It never feels like work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's always so fun. My favorite part every time that we do it is the open dress rehearsal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's become just a beautiful thing that I get to see, where we get to sing for these amazing guests that are from all walks of life, that maybe they've been going through their dark night of the soul,
Mm-hmm.
and we get to share the hope of Christ with them, and treat them with honor and respect and dignity. And I get to play a small role in that, and
Yeah.
to share that story through music. And so even though it's an open dress rehearsal, we really try to take it as seriously as possible, as if it were our very first performance, because that's the first one of many for the rest of the week. And
Right.
so we have to maintain our spirit high and the emotion high, because you never know that, for us, it might be by the end of Sunday, it might be the seventh performance, but for that last person that goes in, it'll be the first time
Yep.
that they're appearing. And so we want to make sure that our heart and soul is being poured out just as much as that first time. And so that Wednesday's become, honestly, just a real cherished tradition. And just to see the joy in people's faces, it's just really, really the best. And so, yeah, it's always easy to get to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I really loved how you described how Mark reached out to you the first time. It's one of the things that I think people who just see the concerts, the performances, maybe don't know the beautiful work that Mark has put in over the years, and how important it is to him that the people who are involved are really, like, their heart is in it, and they're their faith is changed because of it. And that's what you do, Mark. Like, you bring in the people who are really going to make this thing what it has been over the years. I don't know if you know that. I think you know that.
The Holy Spirit.
Oh, yes. Yes, but he works through you. Yeah. So he's not going to say anything about that.
I'm just so moved by Carlos's story.
Yeah.
Well stated.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm a dad, so that moves me.
Yeah.
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 With your
Yeah.
father. And
Thankful.
now, the most important title you have now is dad and husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tall order.
And it sounds like your wife and your new daughter are going to be here for the performances, correct?
They will. They'll be flying up in that weekend, and so they'll get to, God willing, hopefully, catch some of the performances.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so as you had mentioned, Mark, the new organ will be on full display. It'll be all tuned, all ready to go.
Yeah. All 4,000 pipes.
Yes. This will really change what people see and hear, because that organ looks very different from the other organ.
Yeah,
It's
looks
the complete
different.
opposite.
Sounds different.
Yeah.
I'm not a big organ guy, to be
Right.
honest with you. I don't have it on my playlist, organ music, but this organ, I'm becoming a big fan.
Yeah.
I understand now why this is so important to worship and how it can be very helpful. And we're going to use it in very unique ways.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Underscore,
Yeah.
also features. Yeah.
Yeah. We have about 3 minutes left. Can you tell us what is the purpose of Christmas besides all of the joy and everything? Where does the money go that people pay with their tickets? What does this support, and how do they get their tickets? Let's make sure we get that in there.
This is a fundraiser, so our mission really is to help people grow deeper in love with Christ, through the experience. But it is a fundraiser, and we have many, many generous companies, businesses, and individuals in the community. It's an expensive thing to do, to put on a live performance, to pay all these different people involved. They discount their time and everything, but it's their profession.
Yep.
But last year we were able to net $290,000 after all of those expenses.
Yeah.
So it's significant. And during the years, the beneficiaries are endowments for the ongoing care and maintenance of the cathedral as a civic and sacred landmark. It's big and beautiful, but it'd be way too much of a burden for a parish.
Yes. Oh, yes.
To be able to maintain and take care of that cathedral. So we built up an endowment. It's up to about close to $3 million at 4% interest every year. That means it distributes $120,000 to help pay for maintenance, heat, cooling. You got to paint stuff, repair. You got to custodial staff, all that. And then equal amount of money goes into an endowment for the ongoing care and maintenance of the Bishop Dudley Hospitality House, our homeless shelter. Yep. And that's where some of the guests come from for that special performance that Carlos talked about. You can imagine a ministry that's open 24 hours a day. It never closes its doors.
Right.
And people are sleeping in it, living in it, showering, clothes. I mean, everything you have to do, it gets a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
So this is a very important thing that we do for those who don't have a shelter, a roof over their head.
Yeah. How do people get tickets if they want to go? When are the performances? Let's make sure we say that.
We have 6 performances that everybody works really hard to fit them into this weekend of a very active parish in between the Mass schedule. It's Thursday, December 18th through Sunday the 21st. So we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, 18th to 21st at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
And then we fit a matinee in on Saturday, the 20th, and Sunday the 21st. So those are the 6 concerts. Yep. If you Google Christmas at the Cathedral, it's going to come up, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
You can also go to our website, which is ccfesd.org, Catholic Community Foundation for Eastern South Dakota, ccfesd.org. Yep. And the info will be there. You can also call if you want, 605-988-3701, 988-3701. If you're in the Sioux Falls area, you can get tickets at the local Hy-Vee stores as well.
Yeah, which is super convenient.
Yeah.
Okay, we are out of time. I'm very much looking forward. Mark knows I've bought tickets twice, and both times I was sick and had to give up my tickets. I don't know what's happening with that, but
that's because you've been waiting to
I'm
hear
waiting for
Carlos. Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm almost afraid to buy tickets, but I'm gonna anyway. If it happens, then someone else can enjoy my tickets.
There
But
you go.
I hope that people will buy tickets, get to the performances, buy tickets early because they fill up early, don't they?
Yeah, we have 6 concerts. Some people assume they're sold out already. We still
They
have
are not.
tickets available.
Yes.
But I tell you, Friday night, our patron tickets, for instance, are sold out. So people hear sold out, they think, no, it's only one of the 6.
Right.
So we still have tickets available.
Right. Get over there and
Please,
get some tickets. So thank you both for being with me today and talking about Christmas at the Cathedral and telling us. Carlos, it was lovely to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah, look forward very much to hearing your voice at the performances. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Renee.
You bet.
God bless.
Again, if you want to get tickets, you can go to ccfesd.org/events and get the tickets there, or go to your local Hy-Vee if you're in the Sioux Falls area. That's it for us today. Hope you'll join us again next week for more Catholic Views.